And so if y'all can mute for me. Oh, it gives us, I didn't realize it gives us a counter on it, going live, that it's live. So that's good. I never realized that until now. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are now live. Thank you so much for being here. And I ask that we, there you go. And if someone will check YouTube, because we want active speaker only. And if not, we're okay. Welcome. Ekabo, Ekabo, Ekabo. Ekabo is Yoruba, the Yoruba word for welcome. Welcome to each and every one of you to the Sisters Speak. This is Awakening Spiritual Temple. My name is Iya Monica. I'm Yvonne Craig. Iya Ifa Kemi Shola Ifayomi Egbe Funike. I am the spiritual guide and leader of Awakening Spiritual Temple. And our temple is an inter-spiritual community of believers. And we invite you to step into our thriving community of spiritual seekers that are dedicated to reclaiming their ancestral practices. We invite you to join us in sacred ceremonies and rituals, delving into the profound connections within each and every one of our heritage. Here, or heritages, because we all come from different heritages. Here, ancient traditions nurture personal growth and collective healing, fostering transformation and awakening. All backgrounds are welcome. All backgrounds are welcome to explore workshops, gatherings, spiritual services. We have them now digitally. We'll be doing some in person as well, and shared rituals, cultivating unity and growth in a nurturing space. You can find us at Awakening Spiritual Temple on Mighty Networks as well. We're also on YouTube. As some of you are viewing live, I welcome you. I definitely welcome you into this space. This is our last Sunday, and it's actually the last day of Women's History Month, but we know as women, we create history every day, every minute, every second, every hour. There is no history without her story, because we are the portals, we are the creators, the creatrix, we are the womb beings. Whether you've birthed a physical child or not, we still have that. We are the divine creators. We are the mothers. We're the maiden, as the book says, the maiden, the mother, the crone. Each and every step of our lives and our past are so very important. This is the last Sunday of that month. And I wanted to really showcase women. It came to me a few weeks ago. Let's do this. And the women that are very important to me. And we all know that spirituality before colonialism, right? Before the settler came, we were the seers, we were the sibyls, we still are. We were those spiritual leaders. We were the kingmakers. No man could be elevated without that divine feminine. And what happened in this journey with the patriarchy and the church wanting to take control, the first thing they did, and I invite people to, read up on it. The first thing they did was to demonize the herbalist, demonize the spiritual woman, because they realized the power that she had and she will, but we did it all within love. So what is the first thing they did? And I tell people, research it. If you need a point of view, watch even the TV series. You guys know remember Vikings? There's a TV series, The Vikings, and it talks about how the Catholic Church went in, and how the Vikings were the last group in Europe. They fought tooth and nail before they gave up their indigenous practices. So we're seeing in this age a reemergence, a reawakening, a call back to our indigenous systems. And there is that recognition of the power of the divine feminine, the primordial energy, the birth of creation. And we're also looking at right now in this time, this patriarchy that has ran things on that strong war, fight. They're grasping for straws now because they feel the shift. Whereas we operate understanding the balance, the balance between the feminine and the masculine. So we're reclaiming. And we know in spiritual spaces, when you look around, who do you always see? Whether it's in the church, in most things, you see women. Even in our indigenous systems, women are taking the lead. And so I have two beautiful women here. I have my goddaughter here today. And I have my dear sister as well, Belle. And so I'm looking forward to what they have to share, because we are creating sacred space through community, through, ritual, and through our lifestyle. Definitely through our lifestyle and how we choose to show up. And we have that autonomy. And I just love that. So women's history is every day. Our story is every day. And I salute the women that stand proud in that. And I would like to give honor, to our ancestors. Our ancestors. We venerate them, we honor them, we lift them up, because we are flesh of their flesh. We are bone of their bones. Their DNA is within each and every one of us. It's upon their shoulders. And people take that lightly. It's upon the shoulders of the ancestors that we stand. Without them, we are not. They went through a lot for us. They celebrated for us. They struggled for us. They fought for us because they hoped for a better. They hoped for better. And we are living that. And we are our ancestors reincarnated. We are them. Each one of us is someone that has come back to complete the work and to complete the journey. So we always start by giving honor to our ancestors, And I would like to start with, and again, honoring and celebrating the women. I have this book here by Dr. Iya Ayoka Wiles. She was our first speaker, and it is her prayer book. It is a collection of Yoruba prayers for Egun and Orisha. I hear alone. We have so many women who have led and paved the way throughout history for each and every one of us. So we were taught to start first by being that which you desire for this service, the outcome of this service, to encapsulate all of that. So really just setting your intention for today, for the rest of this month, during this springtime, the rest of the remainder of 2024. Start first by being. Start first by being. I give light to the divine and the ancestors so that they may guide me and put light where there seems to be darkness, so I may be clearly directed down my destined path. I now walk peacefully down the path hand in hand with the divine, and so I may be guided toward tranquility and love. I now hear clearly as to my purpose, plan, and objective for this moment and for my lifetime. I now see clearly as light shines up me, leading me toward prosperity, abundance, progress, and evolution. And so it is, and so I am. There's a quote by Willow Smith. She says, breathing is meditation. Life is meditation. Think about these things. You have to breathe in order to live. So breathing is how you get in touch with the sacred space of your heart. Such a young lady to realize this at a young age. Breathing is meditation as we prepare to breathe. Breathing is your life force. Breathing is meditation. Life is meditation. You have to breathe in order to live. So breathing is how you get in touch with the sacred space of your heart. I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. Ensure that your feet, if you're sitting or planted upon the ground, if you're able. If you're unable to, it's okay. Don't put much, don't put a lot of heavy thought in it. Inhale, bringing your shoulders up to your ears. On your exhale, rolling them back, releasing all that energy. Inhale, shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, rolling back, relaxing. Allowing your chin to slightly tuck. Imagine that there's a string at the top of your head and there's a slight pull. Placing the palms of your hands on your lap if you're comfortable. If you need to ground. If you need a little grounding and to receive, one palm facing down on your lap, the other facing towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do first, and I always like to preface this, when I say an audible exhale, what do I mean by that? You're going to inhale. You're breathing in and you're releasing. We'll do that 3 times. Inhale, expanding your stomach as if it's a huge balloon or beach ball. Finding your breath, leading to your heart space, your heart center. Breathing. Let's do this again. Let me correct myself. Inhale, exhale. Your second inhalation. Inhale. Letting go of the need to control anything. Inhale, the life force is sacred space. Exhale. Releasing. Now you'll find your breath inhaling, expanding your stomach, allowing your breath to flow to your heart center. Exhaling from your heart center, pressing your navel towards your spine. Inhale, allowing your breath to flow to your heart center, to your throat. You're not going to be restricted. Exhaling, allowing your breath to flow from your throat to your heart center, to your navel, pressing in. Inhale, and we're finding the pattern from your heart center to your throat, to that space in between your eyebrows, the third eye center. Exhale, third eye, throat, heart center, the abdominal region, the solar plexus. Inhale, expanding, following the breath from your heart center to your throat, not forcing. Your third eye center, that space between your eyebrows and your crown. Hold it. You are glorious. You are divine. You are the I am that I am. Exhaling from your crown, third eye, your throat, your heart center, your solar plexus, pressing in, releasing, finding your natural breathing pattern, your natural breath. Sitting within this space, recognizing that I am the sacred space. I am the temple. I am the ritual. I am within community. I am divine. I am deserving. I am love. I am powerful. I am that I am. And if your eyes were closed and when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. And when you're ready, when you are ready, thank you, thank you, thank you. As we come together in fellowship, I ask for the blessings of Olofi, Orisha Negum. Let them shower blessings of greatness so that we may be uplifted out of the shadows of darkness and into the warmth of goodness. For the sake of goodness and for the sake of our fellow beings, may the blessings be at the feet of our souls. And may the divine's graciousness, mercy, and love wrap around our destinies and fellow brothers and sisters. May we have understanding, peace, and clarity. May we prosper in abundance of blessings. Let us honor the divine and the divine within ourselves. Let us honor the gifts that have been bestowed and nurtured within us. Let us honor the sacred breath of life. Ashe, so be it, Jai Bhagwan. Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are going to move into our first speaker, and each one will introduce themselves. This is Ifa Damilola, Rachel Chapman. I invite you to introduce yourself, and I am turning the space to you. And remember, flow. You guys flow. Flow. Definitely.
Okay, so hello everyone on the platform. My name is Rachel Chapman, also known as Osimini Ifadami Lola. So I am here today to speak on this platform. I'm very honored to have my beloved godmother have me speak on the platform for International Women's Month. And also a little bit about myself. I am a postpartum doula. That is my current field of work, as well as a oracle reader. So I won't go into too much about my education. I am currently a student of biological sciences, and just wanted to talk about things further that tie in today for Resurrection Sunday, as well as what does that have to do with women for our month, our Women's History Month. So that is all. I guess I can turn it over to Belle for her to introduce herself, or would you like me to just flow? Okay. So initially for this topic, I wanted to talk about my perspective from a postpartum doula's perspective. That is my line of work. I work within the Bay Area, full of clients, all the way from Solano County to San Francisco County line. And I thought that it was a great idea, excuse me. It was a great idea to speak about that. However, things changed. I created a whole PowerPoint and something told me, no, don't speak on that. Speak about freedom. So my topic today is called freedom. That is the title. That is the nature of the topic. I would like to talk about freedom in regard of Today, Resurrection Sunday, freedom of choice, freedom of elevation, and freedom of change. Those have been like my three favorite words, in addition to uh, freedom, elevate, and release. And I want to speak on those topics um, from a perspective of a postpartum doula, looking out through the lens of women, what happens to us postpartum, what happens after you have the baby, right? And so things may change when we look at pregnant women, like, oh, they're so cute, they're so adorable. How many months are you? Oh my gosh, let me get the door for you. Let me have you sit down. Anything you want to eat. There's a lot of catering going on, right? Because we honor the womb man, right? We honor the womb. We honor the life that is growing inside of her and being created. However, what happens after the baby comes out? This is a time period from the mouths of the women that I have served, stating that this can be a very lonely period. This is the most challenging period. Everything has changed, even for the man, right? So the man, which is the husband or the partner, will say, hey, things have changed. I don't get to go to bed the same time I used to, right? I don't get to hang out all night like I used to. There's certain things I can't do. I have to be back at a certain time just in case my wife needs a break for the baby. And so when we look at that, we're not only birthing just the baby, we're birthing change within our schedules. We're birthing change within our lifestyles. And we're also giving birth to new ideas. How do you want to parent? How do you want to change? One of the examples I would like to add today is Mother Mary in honor of Easter Sunday, right? So we all kind of know who Mother Mary is. And some of us have even heard the song, Mary, Did You Know? Right? And so when we think about that, think about being in Mary's shoes and what she was going through at the time. Being pregnant, already having a partner, saying, you about to have a baby and what? It's not by me. And this baby is going to do this, X, Y, Z, changing up this, changing that. Again, freedom to change, right? She had a choice in that matter. Mary has a choice, just like a lot of us women have today. We have choices, right? She could have said, heck no, I ain't going through with this. I don't know why y'all chose me. I'm not doing this. She is the mother, right? But she decided to make a different choice. So I want us as women to honor the choices that we have to give birth. And what does that look like? Right? So from that perspective, Mary, did you know that your baby boy would walk on water? Mary, did you know your baby boy would one day save our sons and daughters? I don't know about y'all, but if I knew I was pregnant with a baby boy, I'm not about to give birth to my baby just so he could die for y'all. Scratch that. I'm done. I'm cool. I'm not going through with that plan, right? Because yes, he's a hero. He's a magician, right? He's a community leader. But as a mother, I don't know how I would sit with that, knowing that one day my son would be tortured, you know? So when we look at that, we often look at Jesus on Good Friday. Of course, they removed the tomb on Sunday. He is risen, he is no longer here. But we don't think about it in Mother Mary's perspective. How does that sit with us as women with wombs, whether you've given birth or not, right? How heroic was she to go through the process? And so when you think about that, women on a daily make choices like Mary. We make choices like that all the time. from that perspective. We honor the changes of when 555. A lot of us are into angel numbers. Some of us have a deeper connection with the Orisha Oya. Oya is the Orisha of change, the winds of change. And so when we think about that, what are we giving birth to? We're giving birth to change, right? That could be as simple as just stating, you know what? With me being a mom, this happened when I was a child. Okay. Maybe it was you were told you had to eat all your vegetables before you can get some juice at the dinner table. You might say, as a parent, no, I want to do something different. I don't want to force my children to eat something they don't want to eat just to drink. That small example in itself is birthing change in your generation. And then that baby, whether it's male or female, will birth changes in how they parent. So we're always giving birth to changes, new ideas, right? And we love that. We love the freedom to express ourselves on social media, whether it's in person, the freedom to implement rules, the freedom, all of that is birthing, okay, whether people realize it or not. It doesn't have to be always physiologically. Sometimes it can be spiritually, sometimes it can be mentally. I was telling Monica the other day, I'm like, you can do something 500,000 times in your past. The day that you decide to say, no, I don't want to do this anymore, or, hey, I want to do this different, that in itself, you have given birth to an idea. And so when you look at that from a postpartum perspective, we are now taking in the responsibility as new parents to our ideas. We are taking in the responsibility of how we want to love, how we want to initiate change for our baby to grow. Your baby might not be a physical baby, your baby might be your business, right? It's those of you who are business owners and entrepreneurs. That is something that you want to do. You have the freedom to create your business, right? You have the freedom to nurture your business, right? It can be something as simple as having a garden. You have the freedom to choose which vegetables, tomatoes. If you don't want that, you can have flowers, plants, whatever it may be. But I want to talk about the freedom that comes with that, right? Freedom to me is a liberal thing. However, sometimes we have to see it as initiating change, right? So today I really did want to honor that. Discipline also develops character, which develops change. These two go hand in hand. And I wanted to kind of shift gears into that because we also think, oh, freedom. Oh, I'm free to do whatever. No, not quite, right? Because we all have a choice to do what we want to do with our freedom, although we have that. Does that necessarily elevate us, right? So we have to think about what do we need to release in order to elevate, to have the freedom that we desire. And what does that look like? So I heard from a rapper that I love. I went to his concert. I won't say his name. But he also said something that spoke volumes to me in one of his songs. And I'm just going to go ahead and quote it. It says, discipline develops character, right? The next thing he says is pleasure seeking develops addiction. So we also have the freedom to discipline ourselves in order to create that change that we want to see within ourselves, within our community, within our children, within our lives. Or we can also have the choice to just seek pleasure, not really discipline. And that also can develop some things that can be harmful to our womb or what we are trying to give birth to. So I know that I'm giving you guys a lot of examples right now, but for sure, we always know that, yeah, although we have the freedom, we know intuitively what is right, right? Some things that people do, you might say, oh no, that's crazy. I'm not doing that because that's not right. However, that person is exercising their freedom to choose whatever they want. We have what is called free will by God, divine creator, Olodumare, Allah. And some things that we choose in our free will may not align with what's in our destiny, in our greatest attributes and what we see ourselves as. So again, I want to ask the collective that is on this live, um, what would you like to give birth to? And how will that bring about change? Right? Would, after giving birth to that idea, after giving birth to any thoughts, business plans, relationships, whatever it is that you would like to manifest, what is it that you would like to bring about and change? What do you want to do differently within that? You have the freedom to change anything. Start today, starting tomorrow. In a split second, you can decide and make a huge decision on your life. How will you like to elevate? Freedom of elevation is so real. You always have the possibility to elevate your life at any given time, regardless of who is judging you, regardless of who has something to say, regardless of your past. What are you choosing? What type of freedom are you choosing when it comes to elevation? Seeking higher consciousness. Maybe it's changing a lifestyle with diet plans and initiating maybe a more exercising routine, and freedom to change. So those are some of the things that I wanted to honor with us as women. We know there are some things politically going around in different states, and I'm not here to speak on that per se, but I just wanted to put that out into perspective. Um, People often think that that is one way that we can implement change, but we're always implementing change. It's not always just with our reproductive system and our reproductive rights, it's within every area of our life. And that is something that is so important for every woman to realize. You have the freedom to become better, regardless of anybody, what they have to say. You have the freedom to do things. And speaking of ancestor reverence today, excuse me, some of our ancestors did not have the type of freedom that we have today. And we know this. Some of them didn't have a choice in a matter. Some of them can only elevate very little. Some of them couldn't change, you know? And then we have some ancestors that decided, I don't care if this means me risking my life. I want my freedom. And I think that those are all beautiful things and beautiful choices, and no judgment to whatever choices they have decided, right? But now in this day in 2024, we also have the ability to make different choices than we were maybe in our 20s, maybe in our 30s, maybe in our 40s. It's the freedom of that. And so going back to becoming a mother, looking in the lens of from a postpartum perspective, um, you might have had your baby and people were telling people, hey, do this with your baby, feed your baby like this, put this on. And you might have said, I know my baby doesn't need that. That in itself is change, right? So when you look at your baby in a sense of maybe just nurturing yourself, maybe you're your own baby. I don't need that. I don't need the social construct of always giving overly advice about things that I don't need for myself. Maybe it's about an exercise routine that you just started, whatever it may be. I really just want to speak about implementing change and deciding which you would like to do differently in your day-to-day lifestyle. These are the magical things and the magical powers that we have as women, period, point blank. Whether you had a hysterectomy, whether you couldn't give birth to live children, whatever it may be, you still have the magical power in Ashe as a woman. And so with that, I challenge everybody to use their freedom of choice, their freedom of elevation, and freedom to change. What are you giving birth to? What does that look like 5 years from now? Right? Your baby is no longer a newborn. Your baby is 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. How do you still plan on implementing the growth and the nurturing of that baby, just as it was within your womb, just as it was as a newborn, and also throughout the years? We see this all the time. People say, oh, I used to be so spoiled when I was little, and then maybe my other sibling was born and they stopped spoiling me, or I didn't feel like I got the attention I needed, things of that nature. But as a mother, if you know that that happened to you, how can I implement change to where my children don't feel like that, right? This is the energy and the perspective that I have looked at just from the past couple of weeks, and how our generations are willing to think about things critically and decide things that weren't possibly available to us years ago, right? And there's no shame or a condemnation on the women before us. We give honor and reverence to them because they only knew what they knew how to do. We only know what we know how to do, right? And so with that, through your lineage as a woman, from your grandmother to your great grandmother to your great great grandmother, and some of us actually have been fortunate to meet all of them. Those who haven't, they are still there and we can still honor them. But think about you being in this space right now, even those who are speaking on a platform today. That in itself is one of your ancestors' wildest dreams, to have the freedom to sit here on Resurrection Sunday and not have to do something they don't want to do. That was their wildest dream. So now they have given birth through you. You implement that change. And so I love to see that. So again, what do you want to do different as a mother? And this is a mother from all perspectives, right? What changes come with being a mother? So I'm going to touch on that. That will be my last point. What changes come with being a mother? When we talk about having a physical baby, people say, oh, get ready to have your baby. You might lose friends. You're going to lose a lot of sleep. Oh my gosh, your hair is going to fall out. Oh my gosh, I gained so much weight after I had my baby, or I lost so much weight, or I struggle with breastfeeding. Hearing all of these things, and you're just like, you know what? I just want to be okay. I mean, I get it. People share their experiences, but what comes with that aftermath, And so deciding, I'm going to do things my way. I'm going to tap into the power that was already created within me by the divine creator, right? I'm going to become the mother that I've always inspired to be. I'm going to become the mother maybe I didn't have. I'm going to become the mother that I've always dreamed to be. So when we think about that, think about how this inspires you to be a mother. Maybe you're a mother of plants. Maybe you're a dog mom. Maybe you're a cat mom. Maybe you have children. Maybe you have grandchildren. What are some of the things that you were inspired by your grandmother? Oh, my grandmother used to bake us all these things. I want to bake things for my grandchildren. I want to be the matriarch that cooks the best dishes, that has the Thanksgiving, the Easter at my house. I want to be the mother or the grandmother that has the garden. I want to be that. And you have that choice. You also have the choice to say, I don't want to be like, I do not want to do this to my children. And that could be whether it's godchildren, whether that's uh, fur babies, whether that is physical babies. What do I want to do as far as making choices within your life as a mother? So, postpartum wise, again, speaking on the fact that yes, the baby's going, yes, things are different, but you also have people like me as a postpartum doula. Maybe you have people who act as a doula role that may not be a certified doula, but who come in and cook for you, who love you, who give you advice. You know, maybe there's doulas that we don't certify them, maybe by the state or the local organizations, but these are doulas who may be just sitting with you when you have a bad day, someone you can call and vent to, somebody who can be an emotional companion to you. So we look at things in that perspective. But I want to just say to all the mothers today, you have, again, freedom of choice, freedom of elevation, freedom to change, freedom to elevate, freedom to release. And that is what I want to say from a postpartum perspective. Thank you again, Iya, for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Freedom. Thank you. And we'll touch on a little bit after. I pulled a lot of gems from that. Definitely freedom of choice, freedom of change. What was the other freedom?
Freedom to elevate.
To elevate, freedom to elevate. And we are going to go into thank you. Like I said, I have my notes, wrote a lot of notes from that and some things that I would like to further expound on. I would like to introduce to each and every one of you, and Belle will give her introduction. Belle is, and I thank you again for Rachel. And as I don't know if I stated, Rachel is my goddaughter as well. Belle is a very dear, I regard her as a sister, a great friend of mine. And I met her, oh, it's been like 6 years or so ago when I was in yoga teacher training. And Belle had already gone through the process and she sat in the class with us again. She audited that, and I've had the journey of sitting in other trainings with her. Belle has made a very profound impact in my life. She loves me and my kids. You know, she became an instant sister. She is a sage. She is a seer. She is a wisdom keeper. And as you see, Belle Agape, Belle is full literally of that agape love, that God, agape love is God love. And that's love without condition. And she literally loves and sees you through the lens and the eye of God. Because when we look at people through our eyes and through our natural lens, we tend to kind of lean. So her name really resonates. She speaks. And when we call people by their spiritual names and the names that they choose, we speak forth the blessings that those names mean to them, as well as speak that into our lives. And her name, she truly resonates that true agape love. And she is a Belle. Always think of the Belle, the flowers, you know, the beautiful Belle type of flowers. So she resonates with that. And she embodies that, not resonates, she embodies that agape love. She embodies the deep wisdom of the mysteries of God, the esoteric, and she brings that down to earth with each and every one of us. She makes it relatable. So I would like to open the platform to my dear friend and she's a sister, to Belle Agape.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so kind of you, Monica, to say those things. And I would never say that about myself. So thank you so much. And I would like to invite you to have dialogue with me. I love and enjoy our conversations, and I feel like so much wisdom comes out of sitting in sisterhood and sharing. So I just want to say thank you so much for those beautiful words that you spoke about me. And to start, my name is Belle. I go by Belle. I am a certified yoga therapist, certified by the International Association of Yoga Therapists. And all those things are very true that Monica said. I have some great stories of some things, with Monica, and getting to see some pretty profound experiences, and her being able to witness for me as we went through these advanced classes, some pretty powerful stuff, like the earth was shaking. And I come out of a posture and she says, "No, you were perfectly still." But I'm like, it was like there was an earthquake, right? So some pretty profound things happen when we let go of the confounds of the mind. I loved Rachel's discussion on freedom. I think it's a very powerful choice as we close up Women's History Month, Herstory. And today I want to kind of just stick with a couple of topics that are near and dear to my heart. But first, I feel guided very strongly to explain why I even chose the name of my company. It is called Agape in Action. And I went into meditation when I first realized, and I had a really good spiritual teacher and mentor at that time. But she had advised me to start my own company and to go to yoga teacher training. And at that point, almost 10 years ago now, I was like, I don't want to be a yoga teacher, right? Like I had this job working for a huge corporation and was making tons of money and was living very comfortably, miserably, right? I was complacent. In yoga, we have a term, it's called santosha. It's one of my favorite terms, and it's contentment without complacency. So it's an always striving forward. And she said, "No, you're going to do this." And I was like, okay. And kind of had a stronger in me a little bit. It was right after the death of my brother. And I went into meditation. I said, "God, like, what will be the name of my company?" And I just kept hearing the word love. And they're like, seek out different words for love. And so I started meditating and kind of looking up different words for love. And all of a sudden, the word agape came to me very largely. And they said, "You will teach people how to put agape in action." And they're like, "That is what you came here for." And I thought, I don't even understand the word, right? This was almost 10 years ago. I understood it in the loose context of it, but I was so disconnected from the love that surrounded me always by conforming to these societal standards that I couldn't really understand it, right? Or had never really had it modeled to me as a young adult. And so I started out with my yoga teacher training, and I started to dip my toe in. Like you said, I did the first yoga teacher training in the beginning of 2016. And I had no idea what I was in store for, right? I sat in this room filled with, I think at first it started out with like 50 plus people. And it was like New York City style yoga in a large room, mat to mat. But as we kind of got closer and closer to the completion of the program, a good solid about 33 of us graduated together. And those friendships, I'm still dear friends with those people today. Like I have some of my best friends still from the program. But the love that was shared was another taste of what agape is, right? So it's like love for love's sake. There's no judgment. There's no pretense like, oh, because I do this for you, now you owe me. There's none of that. It just is. And if I decided to be a purple unicorn tomorrow, right, you would be okay with that because you love me for the truth of who I am, the universal, unchanging, and timeless truth. So I just felt guided to kind of share that with you. And then from there, I was led, to take my yoga nidra training, and I could never think the same again, because again, I got more and more. I was able to drink the liquid elixir that is agape in those trainings. I had only ever gotten to experience it as someone in a studio experience class, but becoming the facilitator and stepping into the seat of the teacher was quite a different experience. And so I was just so interested. And then from there, you know, and then I just followed the promptings to prana till I got here today. And I love what I do. I show up every day for people. You know, I serve in many different capacities, and it's all spirit-led, spirit-guided. And so creating, you know, going back to the topic of creating sacred space, I think that we have to create sacred space within ourselves. And that's what I do with my private clients. Even before I knew meditation in motion was a whole certification and a training offered as part of my yoga therapy program, I used to do something that I called moving meditation in motion, like moving meditation or meditation in motion in the morning. With my dogs, I wouldn't put on any sound. It was just what I was guided to do. Don't listen to anything in my headphones. Just be aware of the things that were happening around me. And so by doing that, I was able to enter, you know, these pretty profound states and be in flow. And so really what I was doing was creating this container between myself and the whole world. And so people often think of, oh, sacred space is the four walls. Like I'm in my office here in Central Phoenix, and it's these four walls, and I've created this space, and I've put up my crystals, and I've done all these things, and I've done the water and the sage and the Palo Santo. But really, sacred space is everything you are and everywhere you go. And so you first and foremost have to create like a safe container for yourself. And then you can go forward and create it for others and replicate it, you know, throughout all of time and space. So let's see what else Spirit prompts me to talk about. There was something else too with Rachel's talk on freedom. You know, getting to meet people in these different capacities. I'm able to share with them quite often that, you know, yoga isn't a religion, it's a science, and it's the science of non-suffering. So what yoga gave me truly was the freedom to choose and the freedom to, you know, not suffer and get to pick a different way. And maybe the most loving thing in a moment is to, you know, be that light for somebody. And at the same time, maybe in that moment that with yoga, it's to set a healthy boundary with somebody in a way that may be abrupt or sharp or whatever. I like to remind my private clients that even Jesus flipped tables. So it's okay to get mad, and it's okay to say, hey, this isn't okay. And to set those boundaries with love. And that even setting a healthy boundary to me could be setting a sacred space, because you're setting the space for your spirit to have what it needs to flourish and to grow. So I think first and foremost for yourself, and then for others. And some people don't even know what a boundary is because they've been part of these big families, or even what privacy is or isn't, you know, myself included, because I was part of a huge family growing up, and we had a, you know, one bathroom to share for 8 kids. So it can be a lot to kind of deconstruct some of those processes. But it's super important if you're going to set any sort of sacred space or have an altar or any sort of spiritual practice, is to spend time, you know, clearing out and finding the truth of who you are. And I think that's the most sacred of all spaces. So thank you. And then Monica, I'd love to have some open dialogue with you if you would like to join in, or even Rachel.
Okay, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. You said clearing out and
I'm
finding who you are.
Yeah, the universal, unchanging, and timeless state that you are. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that again?
The universal, unchanging, and timeless truth of who you are. That is what you are.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Universal, unchanging,
Mm-hmm.
and timeless. I
Yes.
remember the first time hearing our meditation in motion teacher, you know, really explain that.
Mm-hmm.
God is universal,
Mm-hmm.
unchanging, and timeless, and of who you are, the true essence. And when we go through these rites and these practices and these rituals, it is for us to tap in, to remember, connect, to that God source. And you said, 'cause I talk a lot about contentment, and even within our and that comes up a lot in indigenous spiritual systems outside of that westernized mindset, right? Because the westernized mindset is get, acquire, whether it's education, material, da 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 da. I'm not against education. I don't believe that you need to go, you have to be a hermit and live in the forest and not have, but if you are content in that state, and you spoke about Santosha, that means contentment without complacency. And a lot of people don't get that. Contentment is the state that I'm in. I find that peace, that I'm not tied to, to me, whatever all of these other outside things are. Complacency is, I don't want to change. And I don't even like using the word change. I don't want to grow. I don't want to expand, And contentment is, I'm in this space right now. And in the situations is not influence. It's just, we can go so much with that. And creating sacred space within ourselves. And I don't know if you remember when we were in YTT, when we had to do the exercise about what a temple is. And I spoke about this the other week when one of the students, everyone had to talk about what temple. Kate told us to talk about what our temple is, creating sacred space within ourselves. And I remember one of the students said, I am the temple. I am the sacred space. Wherever I am is the sacred space. Wherever I am is the sacred temple. And she was a teenager. And the way that she said it, and it was with so much freedom. And Ntozake Shange has, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, her name. She wrote, for colored girls who consider suicide when the rainbow is enough. And she has a quote that I love. She said, I found God in myself. And when you were speaking, she said, I found God in myself. And I loved her. I loved her fiercely. I found God in myself. That I am, again, the ritual. I am the sacred space. I am the temple. Know ye not. And that quote came from, for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. I found God in myself and I love her. And so as we go through this thing called life, finding the beauty, the sacredness, the holiness within ourselves, reconnecting to the beauty of ourselves. And sacred space and ritual is creating boundaries. You just touched on so much, creating boundaries.
Yeah.
And it taps in with what Rachel spoke about with that freedom, having the freedom, the very thing of freedom, the freedom to change, to create boundaries, to the freedom to remove boundaries and limitations. Freedom is a ritual. Freedom is the act. It's a liberatory act of letting go. It's the ritual and the process of releasing yourself from those things. And we talk about the samskaras, those thumbprints, also releasing those images, those memories, those things, and realizing that we're not that freedom. The act of choice, the act of creating sacred space is caught up in rites. And rites are rituals. They're ceremony acts, movements, or action. And so I just really love what you're saying, how freedom, and Rachel spoke about freedom gives birth to change, to new ideas. And how do I get a new idea? The new idea comes within here as well. and honoring your ideas and creating again that sacred space, creating that honoring the temple within, and not doubting the ideas that you're given, because I'm just going to say it, Abrahamic religion has a lot of us going outside of ourselves. And this is interspiritual. So you can practice what, I create a space, what you want, but there's even so much in the Abrahamic text that people overlook, as well, because you do have that freedom to birth new ideas, witty inventions, but trusting yourself to go within and honoring that, because a lot of times we want the validation, that outside validation, and we don't tap in to the God consciousness, the God that we are. And are there any questions? Is there anything that you would like to elaborate on, or you would like for us to dialogue about? I can just go on and on. So I'm just really.
I loved all of that. I thought that poem that you had, it was a poem, correct? From
it was her quote from her play for colored girls who consider suicide when the rainbow is enough. And I found God, and there's a book out as well called I Found God in Me, a womanist biblical hermeneutics reader. And I noticed that a lot of things in this Women's History Month, there is a lot of book banning that is going on in this time, has been from a lot of Black, Indigenous people of color books that have been written by women. There are these lists and this intention on banning, banning from schools, and you have libraries that are like, no, we're not doing that. And it is all about us realizing I found God in me. I don't have to go outside of myself. God is within me, within my very DNA. Even if God breathed life into each and every one of us. And with that breath of life, that life force, that means that the divine DNA, the very DNA and the makeup of God is me. Does that mean that I don't believe in? People often ask, oh, so you don't believe in God anymore? And it's like, I believe in no God even more. Even more. I always knew in my journey in the church that God was within me, because it was something that would always go on in my mind. I am that I am. When Moses said, who do I tell them that I am? Who do I tell them sent me? And the vibration that he felt, because God is a Germanic word that means vibration. People don't know that. It means energy. It's the power of vibration, the sound. So the vibration that he felt within says, tell them that I am sent you. What? I am that I am. The revelation of I am you, you are me, I am God, you are God. Does that mean that there is not the divine? So we say Olodumare, which is the divine, all existing, the creator of all. No gender, no this, no that. We know that we operate off a vibratory frequency. Our body is made up. Rachel and I had the conversation. She said it's gone from 80 to 70% of water. And so we vibrate. There's this energy. So even when we're in ritual and sacred space. So do I believe in the one divine supreme creator, the unchangeable, unmovable, always abounding? Oh yeah. And I also understand that I am the reflection of that I am that I am as well. And so what our journey in this life has been is reconnecting to that and understanding they talk about the Christ consciousness, the awakening, the remembering. Know ye not that you are God? and that you have the ability to birth, to create, to manifest, to do all of those things, and it is within you. But if I condition you to go outside of yourself, that means if I control your religion, I control your mind. And if I can control your mind, I control every aspect of you. But if you tap into the science of spirituality, religion is when a group of spiritual people that have a common belief come together, because there is power in numbers, and we bring in these rites to bring down even more the greater force of, because we've mastered that, the power of. That's when we come together. But spirituality is your personal relationship with the divine, the supreme, the unchangeable, the unmovable. And I love the description that we were taught about ourselves, that when we remember and wake up and we sit into that state, in that space of this timeless, pure existence, and what you can pull down and receive when you come back into this space to help your journey along the way. So I am the sacred space. I am the ritual. I am the pendulum. I am the temple. I am the oracle. I have the ability to speak those things that I don't see in this natural realm right now, those things that are not. I have the power and the authority to speak those things that are not as though they are. What does that mean? We have the ability to call those things down. And that's what that's what we've mastered. We have the ability to call and to pull. Please mute your mic. We have the ability to call and to pull those things down and into, within this space. So yes, I believe in God. Yes, I know God, and I still know God. And I've gotten to experience God in this journey. I've been reconnecting to one of the indigenous systems that, that's a part of my bloodline like never before. I've experienced God. I've experienced community like never before. I have a vast appreciation for nature. I can go out and I realize that the river, God is at the river, because God is the river. The God is in the tree. So do I care if you call me a tree hugger? No. The God is in the tree. God is in the stream. And it gives me that God is in each and every one of the people that I dwell, that I dwell with. And so, we have these things that are the manifestations of, and when we go out into nature, we have the ability to really reconnect, with as well. I didn't mean to go into all of that. But when we enter into, there's a quote, this lady said, you enter into a sacred space in which you emerge into a new and unexpected state of being. When we enter into we have the ability to emerge. Is there anything else that you guys saw? Thank you for sharing from your from your heart space, from your wisdom space. You guys shared from your I am, your divine space. I want to thank you for that. Any closing comments?
I would just like to close with that I loved being part of this conversation and getting to connect with these beautiful women on this final day, the closing day of Women's History Month. And thank you so much for letting me share some of my wisdom from the yogic teachings and our perspective on sacred space and unity and connection to all of nature. And may the Christ consciousness that lives within all of our hearts be resurrected on this day. so we can all live in agape.
Ashe.
Good one.
Thank you. Do you have any closing remarks, Rachel? Thank you.
Yes, I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you for the platform. Thank you for, I'm so grateful for us women even having a platform to speak. So I'm very grateful in that regard. I'm grateful that you chose myself and Belle, and I wanted to say that, Belle, that you did a phenomenal job. I love the things that you spoke about. And the last statement you said, the Christ consciousness in our heart be resurrected today, that really touched me. And so I just want to say I agree. Ashe, amen, and that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. And you did a wonderful job as well.
Yes,
I want to thank each and every one of you that have tuned in to view our service, the Sisters Speak, on this morning. And I invite you to go back and view our other services as well here on YouTube. And we'll be posting links on our social media. I give thanks. I give thanks. I want to spend this time in closing, thanking the divine, thanking Olodumare, thanking God, thanking the creator and his creation of the universe, thanking our ancestors for being in this space. Thank you for the blessings of sisterhood. Even thanking for technology that allows us to reach people all over the world. Thank you for being here at a time such as this. Thank you for the wisdom and the guidance that was given, the words, the oracles that were spoken by each person here today. I pray that each person that tunes in, whether male or female, finds empowerment, love, and peace in their lives, that they may journey and venture throughout this week with their heads lifted up, that they may find all of the desires of their heart, that they may walk on the path of destiny, that their roads, darkened roads, may be illuminated, that heavy hearts may be lightened, that burdensome loads may be lifted, that the illusions, the veil of illusion may be taken away, that every roadblock may be removed, that each person realizes the I am that I am, the power of who they are, and the power of tapping in, that there is no shame for you to practice the indigenous systems. We're thankful that we have the ability to reclaim that which is ours. I pray for abundance, however that may appear in your life. I pray that your needs may be met, that if you do not have a teacher, that the teacher will appear in your life as well, because we know the importance of leadership. There's a quote that says, we have many sons, and I'm going to put a twist on it. It says, we have many sons and daughters, yet we have not many fathers and mothers. So I pray that you may find that guide, that elder that can help you and guide you along your journey of self-discovery and reconnecting and remembering who you are and whose you are. Again, we thank our elevated ancestors, our guides that came within this space today. I give thanks as well to my elders that came before me, to my Oluwo Awishe, Baba Adewale Bagumbe, and those within my lineage I give thanks to my maternal lineage and my paternal, but I give thanks to the women within my family. I have one living grandmother, Loretta Graham Craig. I give thanks to my big mama for all that she did for us. I give thanks to her mama, Grace Chandler Graham Henry, for having the tenacity and the vision of God to know when enough was enough, when she and her family journeyed from being sharecroppers in Mississippi to Arizona and then to California. I thank you that she saw more. I thank you for her. Ibe, I thank you. And Ibe is, I elevate, she's no longer here. I give thanks to my grandmother, Maddie Marie Wilson Ingram, Ibe, and to Laura Ingram, her mother. I give thanks to my mama, Mary Alice Wilson Craig. These women who are no longer here, Alice Morsetti, Sina Ann Nixon Watson, my auntie Bobby Dolores Jean Wilson, my aunt Florette, my aunt Mary Lois, my aunt Idale, my aunt Betsy, my aunt Kat, to all the women, my cousin Ola Bell, who came before me. Bold women, loving women, nurturing women, women who stood flat-footed and who did not play about their children, their grandchildren, their kids, their aunties, their uncles, their cousins. I give thanks for them. To the women within my lineage for the roles and the things that they paved, those who have gone on and those who are still living. The women of my lineage, my spiritual lineage as well. I give thanks. I give thanks for each and every sister that is here that spoke. I decree and declare abundance and blessings upon each and every one of their lives. We thank you for this day. Ashe, ashe, amen. So it is so. We seal it. Have a good day.